Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Unfuck Yourself podcast. Okay, we're going to go into today just some life updates, why I hired a COO, and you know me, I'm very informal. Is that a word? Not formal? I don't know, whatever, when I'm doing podcasts. So I don't have notes, I don't have a plan. I'm just sitting here all snuggled up in my office at home, in my chair, with a blanket, and we're just going to talk. We're going to have a little chat. I'm going to update you, and that's going to be the situation today. So before we get into that, I wanted to give a shout out to everyone who has enrolled in not only Intuitive AF that we did last week, which you can still purchase the replay for if you want to, and I'll link that in the show notes, and also everyone who has enrolled in Advanced Intuition Level 1 training program. I am insanely excited about it. I cannot even tell you. First of all, it sold out. So it sold out in a day, like all the 20 spots sold out in a day. And I was like, fuck it, let's open it up to 30 spots. Open up to 30 spots. That sold out within a week. And here we are. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to get started. And teaching intuition is like my favorite fucking thing in life. We'll do a whole nother podcast on intuition really soon. Okay, so let's get into some life updates. One of them is, it's in the title, I hired a COO, my first ever completely full-time, fully dedicated to just me and the brand team member. And I am so humbled and honored and grateful and excited about this because I cannot even tell you how for all 3 years of my business, I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait. I am so excited for when I can hire somebody just full time and when I find the perfect person for that. And I am someone who has always hired people before I am ready. Like when I first started this brand, this business, charging for what I do, I hired my first ever employee, team member, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it team member. I hired my first ever team member. Her name was Jules. Jules, if you're listening to this, shout out. We love you. We love you, Julesy. And we would sit together in my LA apartment. I had a roommate at the time, and we lived in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment in LA, and it had no furniture other than like the furniture in my room. But the living room had no furniture. I couldn't afford furniture. We couldn't afford furniture. So we would sit on the floor. And then at one point, I'm pretty sure we like got a couch from a friend who was like moving, and we like bought it from her for really cheap. So then we had like this $200 couch in the apartment. So we would sit on that too. But that was later. At first, we would sit on the floor of my LA apartment, and I would give her copy to make Instagram little posts. So if you scroll down on my Instagram really, really far, there's little gray posts because we had a theme going. We had these gray posts, and I would send Jules little things to write on them, and she would make them. And that's how it started. And she would send out emails for me. She would schedule people for me. And I hired her before I literally could afford it at all. Like I was like scraping for quarters to pay her. I always paid her. I always made sure she was paid, and I always would pay her for her hours and her time and everything like that. But I was investing everything that I had in my bank account back into my business, which was paying her. That was really all I was paying for my business at the time, along with like a Wix website that was like, I don't know, $30 a month, but it was nothing crazy. So then from there, I actually don't think I ever scheduled my own sessions. It was really important to me to not be the one in the emails, like giving people the like payment links for the sessions, scheduling them. Like that was always really important for me to be removed from that. So I always had someone in there. Then I hired on another team member. Her name is Piper, and she at the time was a like intern, kind of like I gave her mentorship. I let her come in the classes for free. She was really sweet. I can't remember how old she was at the time. I think I want to say like 18 at the time, 17, 18. Like, she was super sweet, younger girl. And I actually met her at the fitness club in Toluca Lake Tennis and Fitness Club that I used to teach like workout classes and dance classes at. Her parents belonged there, and I met her there. She was a great tennis player. We would play tennis together. And she was super into the work that I do. And she actually did a session with me once, and I could just tell she was just such a gifted soul. So she then I posted on my Instagram, I remember, and I was like, I'm hiring like an intern, someone who wants to like learn the ropes, do some back end work, like scheduling emails and stuff for me. And in exchange, you get like a full mentorship and you get to join all my classes. She was like, oh my God, I'm in. And it's so funny because I was like thinking of her for it too. I didn't like reach out to her personally because I didn't want to like, like push anything onto her that she maybe wouldn't want to do, but she reached out right away. I was like, oh my gosh, I was thinking of you for this. This is perfect. So she did a lot of work for me. Her and Jules were on Team Allie for a while. And I'm trying to like remember the previous stages of Team Allie. So this was now in 2020. And I hired her on when the brands just like fucking quantum leaped what felt like overnight. But it wasn't. It was a combination of a lot of years of getting my energy right and doing a lot of internal work on myself. But I had the quantum leap, what would seem like overnight. I went from in January 2020 making literally like maybe $500, and December 2020 I wasn't making much, like couldn't even tell you, less than 500, to March 2020 December 2019 I was making barely like anything. January 2020 maybe like $500, and then my quantum leap happened between January 2020 and March 2020. March 2020 I had like a $6,000 month. In February 2020, I also made maybe $500. So it went from like 500 to like 6,000. And then in June 2020, 2 months after that, or 3 months after that, I made like 11,000 something dollars that month. And it was just always that or more from there. Like it's always been like 10K or more from there ever since. And so it was like my business went through this quantum leap. So I ended up hiring on Piper, who was the intern at that time. And then we had Piper and Jules. And then I can't remember, but I think Piper got really busy with like college and everything that she was doing. So she left. And then I hired on somebody else who, it was a very short-term thing. She was super cool. Jules was still with me at this point. And at this point I was living in Dallas. So this is, oh gosh, wait, let me backtrack. Hold on. I got very excited about like what's next in the story that I forgot to finish the part I was telling you. So backtrack. When Jules and Piper were working with me on Team Allie, I moved into my LA loft apartment, my first ever apartment alone in LA. I was 24 at the time. And I was like, oh my God, I was like making these 10K months. I was like living in my fucking apartment in LA. It was a loft. It had stairs. It was fucking brand new. It was beautiful. Like if I still lived in LA, I would still live there. I'm obsessed with it. And so I remember like I was just moving in and I had like Jules and Piper. We were all around working and I was giving them tasks to do. And then, then Piper left. She got busy with other things. And then I'm trying to remember, in 2021, I moved to Dallas in July 2021. And Jules was still on the team. And hold on, I'm thinking. Oh, then we hired this other girl who's great. She knew the back end of like a lot of things. It was like part-time though. And I don't remember what happened. I think she just kind of like stopped. I don't know. I can't remember what really happened with her. Super great. Like I loved her. She was super cool. But it like didn't stick. Like it just wasn't something that stuck. And again, Jules was still there. And then what had happened was Jules, she, I think she got like a full-time job somewhere else. And like, I wasn't in a position to like have just like a full-time person. And, I think that's what happened with that. Like, I love Jules. We never had like, she never quit or I never fired her or anything. It was just kind of like, oh, she got a full-time job. Okay. Like go do that. So then I had a personal assistant who was a personal assistant for me in LA. She, and like a really great girl, she then took over like just emails and scheduling and that kind of stuff on the back end. And this was a time where like I had no one to do the mass emails, or I had no one to upload videos, or I had no one to like do that stuff. And like, I am not someone who can do that stuff. Like I cannot sit still. I cannot I cannot, technology, it's not on my side. It's not my friend. I don't enjoy it. I have so much fire in me. I need to be moving. I need to be like bopping around. My favorite thing to do is teach what I know and teach this work and help people and see people shift and be social and with people I desire to be social with, which is you guys and of course my friends. But I don't like to do the back end of anything. I'm not good at details. It's just not my strength. It's not written in my soul. It's not written in my energy. Like it's just not at all. And I always knew that about myself and I always accepted it. Like I never forced myself to do anything business-wise on the back end that I didn't want to do, you know? And there were still some things that I was doing that like I didn't necessarily like want to do. But the things that I really, really didn't want to do or like I couldn't do or like I didn't want to teach myself or learn how to do, I always hired out because your time is so fucking important. It is so important. And I wasn't about to waste my energy, no matter how much money I was making ever. I wasn't about to waste my energy trying to learn something like putting up a video and sending out a mass email and connecting this payment plan to this fucking website link and putting up the fucking thing. Like I wasn't about to waste time trying to learn how to do that because I know myself. I know I have insane attention deficit if it's not something I'm interested in. You know, if I'm interested or passionate about it, I'm hyper focused. If I'm not, I can't fucking be bothered. So I'm like, I never forced myself to do these back end things. Like I always hired it out and I always made it work with somebody else. But at the time when Jules left, I think what happened with Jules is she raised her rates and I totally respect that and value her so much. And I also know that for answering emails and scheduling, there's a certain rate and you don't really need to pay over that for like emails and scheduling. You know what I mean? And I was also like overpaying her for that also just because I valued her so much. So that's also what happened. But again, like nothing bad happened. It was just like, it's like, okay, cool. Like you do your full-time job. I love you. We love each other. We still talk to this day. Love her. She was like the first employee of Team Allie ever. First team member. So, so then she left. So then this other girl is just doing email scheduling. Love her. She's great. She was with me for about a year. She lived in LA. She also then moved out to Dallas. So she was doing some personal assisting for me out here. And then she was like doing the back end scheduling emails and stuff. Super cool girl. Love her. Sweetest girl ever. Like, oh my God, the best personal assistant you could ever have. The best human. Loved her. But then, there's certain, and we still talk to this day. There's certain personalities that are really good at having the details and being really organized on the back end of things. And she just thrived in other ways. Like she's very social. She's very, she's very organized with other things in other ways. Like the personal assisting way is so organized. I was at the point, this was about, oh gosh, when did this happen? Maybe like a year ago now, where I, was like, go be free, like go do what you're really good at. And then we parted ways with her being on the team. And again, I've never had like bad blood or like a falling out, or no one's ever really like quit or anything like that. It's just kind of been like a mutual, like I don't really think I've like fired anyone technically either. Like it's always just been like a mutual understanding of like, yeah, like this is just the vibe isn't the vibe anymore. And we're still cool. We still love each other, but it's just not the vibe to be doing this work together. Then, okay, wait, hold on. I love how I'm just giving you, I wasn't planning this. I'm just giving the whole evolution of Team Allie. Backtrack though, between the one girl we hired with Jules, who like didn't really stick, super cool, just didn't really stick. We kind of just like, I think we just like randomly stopped working together one day. Like I can't even remember what happened. And then between the other girl, Demi, who was a personal assistant taking over, we had someone in the business who was briefly in there. I won't say any names. No one really knows them because I didn't really introduce them because it was like very brief. They were in there. But I found out they ended up actually stealing money from the company. So they stole like $8,000 and people were on payment plans for something. I can't remember what. I think it was like my old membership, or it was maybe my old book club or something at the time back in 2021. And I wanted all those canceled because they both stopped. Like the membership stopped, the book club stopped. So she was supposed to cancel those payments. But I realized months later, people were emailing us going, hey, I'm still getting charged like for these payments once a month. Like what's going on? It was like a $21 a month payment. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know. Like, let me see. And again, I had no one on the back end of stuff at the time. Like it was just me and Demi was just in the email scheduling and setting people up for sessions. So I'm like having to go in and figure out on all the back end with the payments and then this, that, the other thing. And like, we all know that's not my style. I'm not good at that. That's not the vibe. Can't sit still. Can't fucking figure it out. So I'm back there in the back end of stuff, in the trenches, sorting through things. And then I realize, oh my God, this girl has taken over $8,000 and she has these people in these payment plans still. And she never canceled them. She just put them to her card. Like she connected her card to them and they were going to her. And it was wild, you guys, it was wild. So that was a big reflection for me. But it made so much sense with what I was working through at the time. Like I was working through having just trusting people and trusting the world. And so because at the time I didn't trust, I manifested someone I couldn't trust. And then it got exposed months later. Like I didn't even know right when it was happening. Months later, I'm in the thick of working through this trust thing. And I'm finally getting to a place where my neural pathways are getting rewired to, I trust, like I am safe. Like everyone I attract around me, everyone I align with around me has my best interest. And I got into this new belief system. Well, when you get into a new belief system and you quantum leap like that, the old things that were created in your life from the old belief system have got to go. They've got to be purged. So what had happened was all these things were coming out about people lying to me, people stealing from me in the company. Like I found out someone was lying to me, big time, big lie. And like stealing from the company. And so it was crazy wild how that worked. Like I quantum leaped with this belief from going from I don't trust to I trust. And then everything that was created from the energy of I don't trust had to be exposed and purged out of my energy field so I could make space for trusting things, the things that would come in from me trusting. And so remember, we don't get in life what we want, we get how we feel. We create how we feel. We don't create what we want. We create how we feel. So if I felt like I don't trust, I would then manifest people in my life that I can't trust. But if I feel like I trust, then I create a life and people around me where they're trustworthy. So that's what I was doing. And then it was funny how like all this stuff blew up. Anyway, I wasn't even mad about it. I was like, this makes sense. Like if I manifested that And now it's great that it's being brought to my attention and purged out of my system, because I am now no longer a match for people to lie to me anymore. If I would have never shifted my energy around trusting people, who knows how much longer that would have kept going. You know what I mean? So that happened. And then anyway, so then fast forward. So then about a year ago, we let Demi go because, again, she has great strengths. But I just needed someone in the email who was like very, very good at scheduling. I'm not good at scheduling either. No one would want me in their email. Everyone's good at different things. So then we had, Michaela from just our community. You might know Michaela. I talk about her a lot. She reached out to me. At this point, she was in Unfuck Yourself Academy, and she was she did a session with me. She did 1 or 2 sessions with me prior to this. She reached out to me and she said, hey, I really want to keep working with you. Is there any way I can work for you in exchange to get into your classes and to have you as my mentor? And I so respect that, because that's what I did when I couldn't maybe invest any money really into classes or a teacher or a mentor. My mentor, his name's Alessandro, my lifetime teacher. But my mentor at the time, when I was 20, I literally asked him, I was like, hey, I literally am obsessed with everything you teach. I want to keep learning from you. Is there any work I can do for you in exchange to come to class? And he was like, yeah. And I ran his social media for a long time. Back when he was involved in social media. Now he doesn't really use social media, but I ran his social media for a long time. So I really respected her for doing that, because that shows someone who wants to really is willing to do what it takes to get the results in life they desire to get. So I was like, oh my God, fuck yeah, love that girl. Let's do it. So she took over my emails and scheduling. And then wait, I'm trying to think of this timeline. Okay, wait, I missed a part again. Before Michaela took over the emails and scheduling, I hired on Hannah. You may know Hannah from Team Allie. Hannah, I found on Upwork because I posted someone and I needed them to be good at Kajabi, uploading podcasts, the back end of stuff, because I was really expanding my business at that time. And this was in not this past October, but last October. So October 2022, I believe. I originally hired on Hannah to just upload the podcast and upload things into Kajabi and send out mass emails and that kind of thing. And then Hannah's so fucking good at what she does, I had her on for everything, so many things outside of the emails and scheduling, because that's a separate job, more of a virtual assistant job. So I have Hannah, and Hannah is on Team Allie from then until now, and I'll tell you about Hannah a little more in a second. But found her on Upwork. I literally interviewed her and was like, this bitch is it. I loved her. I loved her energy. She lives in Austin, which is great because it's close. Because I'm in Dallas. She just got it. She understood. She matched the energy. She matched the vibe, but she also had the talent and gifts of what I needed. She's very organized, very detail oriented, very good at what she does on the back end with everything. So very empathetic. Can't say enough good things about Hannah. I will put Hannah's name in the show notes. If you need Hannah for anything business-wise, she is, I'll get more into this in a little bit, but she is now on her own journey to just creating her own full-own business, full-own brand, helping people leave their 9-to-5 and build their business. So if you need her for any of that, I'm going to tag her in the show notes because she is incredible. I can't say enough amazing things about her. The way she has helped me take what I've wanted to create in Kajabi and courses and programs and put them in Kajabi and get everything so organized for me and do all the back end stuff and set up all the links and the payment plans. And she's so efficient. She's so good she's a great eye for aesthetic. Like, can't say enough good things about her. So I will put her in the show notes if you ever need her. So have Hannah. Then I hire on Michaela, who was the girl who was like, hey, can you mentor me in exchange for me doing work for you? And I was like, yeah, great. So love her. We did that for maybe half a year. I can't necessarily remember. I think maybe like 6 months. And I love Michaela so much. And I've told her this to her face. And we laugh about it. I'm like, Michaela, hiring you for emails is like hiring me for emails. Like, we are just not meant to be doing back and virtual assistant things. Like, we're just not designed in our brain that way. And I was like, Michaela, you're so similar to me, where you thrive like doing what you love to do best. And she really loves to do this work. Like, I've trained her to be a really great intuitive and to help people and to help people reprogram their brain. And that's just where she thrives. So we were joking about it 6 months in, and I was like, Michaela, I love you so much. And like, you're just not meant to be there. It's like hiring me to go do that for someone. You do not want me as your VA. Trust me, it would not. You'd fire me in 2 days. And we had a laugh about it, and we've talked about it. And I love her to this day. She still comes to classes. We're great friends to this day. And then after Michaela, Keisha, who is currently on Team Allie, came on. And Keisha also, I have had mentorship with. She was in a few of my courses. She did mentorship with me. And then she used to have a job like in social media. So I remember like hiring her for a few like social media tasks. But then she took over for Michaela in the scheduling and like the VA emails and all of that stuff. And she's so great at it. And I'm not blind to the fact that Keisha will not be with me forever, maybe even much longer. She also has trained to be an incredible intuitive and healer, and she has so much knowledge, and she's also building her own brand and business, and she just was able to leave her corporate 9-to-5 and basically work for me and support herself based off that and her own brand and business. So I'm not blind to the fact she won't be with me forever. She'll probably be on her way out soon, but she's currently with me right now too. Okay, now we're up to date. Now here is the current happenings of what's going on over here at Team Allie. That is a little background, and I don't know why I started going off. I had no plan to tell you the full background of Team Allie over the past 3 years, but I just feel like it happened for a reason. So if you are having your own brand, or if you're starting it, or if you're even making a little money in it and you're afraid to hire someone, just do it. Like, your time is so essential. And I was able to grow so fast because I always just hired out what I didn't want to do. Like, I always am thinking about how to do less of what I don't want to do and more of what I actually want to do. Which leads me, again, I cannot even tell you enough. Like, when I first hired Jules, I paid everything. I would pay her and then not have food, not have money to eat. Like, I would pay her and not have money for rent. I would pay Jules and not have money for my car payment. Like, that's how much I believed in myself and my brand and trusted myself. So, like, you've got to bet on yourself. You've got to take radical responsibility for your own trust and belief in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, who the fuck else will? And so when I tell you I would literally pay my team members and not have money for food that night, or not have money for my rent, or not have money for my fucking car payment, I am not kidding. Like, that is not an exaggeration. You know how some people like exaggerate and they're like, oh yeah, no, I didn't have any money for it, but like they had like $10,000 in their savings. Like, no. I mean, I had $0 everywhere, and the $400 I did have would go to Jules to pay her, because I valued her and I valued like having someone on my team to help me. And I knew that I would grow my brand faster that way. And so that's what I did. Like, I wasn't like, oh yeah, no, I had no money at all. I had $5,000 in my savings. No. I had $0 in savings, $0 in my bank account, maybe $400. The $400 I did have went to pay like the team, because it was like not that much to pay at the time, because it was hourly rate and it wasn't like crazy amounts of work at that time. So you see what I'm saying? Like you've got to bet on yourself. And if you want people to see your value, you've got to see your own value, and you've got to radically fucking trust yourself. And that's one thing about me is I have always done the work, the reprogramming around radical confidence. Like if you were in my brain, you'd be like, okay, this girl has like a lot of confidence going on in there. Like, I don't know about her. Like like radical confidence in yourself is what it requires to have a successful brand and business. Because if you're not radically confident in your value and what you have to bring and give and everything like that, then who the fuck else will be? And I always just knew, I just always created this belief that money was going to come back, and it did, and it does, and it always does. So when I hired Hannah, it started out as paying her hourly, just kind of giving her like back end things, upload podcasts, upload Kajabi videos, that kind of thing. Then it turned into like by the end of it, I had Hannah leading meetings. I had Hannah leading they're called level 10 meetings. I'm building my business and the system of my business around it's called EOS. It's a book. There's a book called EOS, and there's a book called Traction. I'm building it around that and like how they suggest to build your brand and business. It's been really working out so far. So recommend that for sure. But she was, they're called level 10 meetings. We called them queen meetings because that sounds way more fun. So she would host our queen meetings. She would make sure all the tasks were done. She would really oversee a lot of the stuff in the business. She would even give us like PowerPoints after a launch. And we had she would just have like this whole little chart of what we need to do and processes and steps for a launch and that kind of thing. So and then I had her on a container, like a monthly container. So it really escalated with Hannah. So then fast forward to right now to today, or the past few weeks, this last month, I have been, past few months, I was finding myself getting resentful, and everything I'm saying right now has nothing to do with anyone except for me, okay? This has nothing to do with anybody at all except for myself. So this is not me blaming anyone. I love my team. My team does every fucking thing that I have told them to do. My team gets everything done. My team works with me. I mean, listen, you guys, I'm very last minute. I can be on a Thursday night, be like, oh my God, we need this thing to go out for tomorrow. And they have it done. Like, they are fucking incredible. So this is not me saying anything about them at all. But however, I was finding myself getting resentful. Again, at no one's fault. It was my own thing. But that I felt like I was doing so fucking much. Like, my schedule, you guys, has been crazy. And I'm not complaining because, oh my God, like 4 years ago, I was dreaming to be busy. Like, I would lay there so bored and pretend like I was busy and pretend like I had things going on like in my head. Like, I manifested this. Like, I it's not even complaining. It's just, I was feeling overwhelmed. Okay. So my schedule is wild. There's a project that I'm working on that you probably are so annoyed because all I keep saying is there's a project I'm working on, and you're like, Allie, like, tell me what it is. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish I fucking could. You guys, I am an open book, and if I didn't sign contracts and if I didn't sign NDAs and if I didn't sign shit, like, I would be telling you what it is literally months ago, but I cannot. But I want to tell you, and it's soon. I'm going to be able to tell you so soon, like so soon. But there's a project that's going on that is obviously time consuming. There is I have a waitlist for sessions. I have a lot of lives that I'm teaching right now. I have content I need to make for my programs. I have a membership. I have now a book that I'm writing and working with a ghostwriter on. I have all these things going on, which I love. I have videos I want to make on TikTok. I have posts I want to make. I love DMing with everyone on Instagram. I have podcasts I want to make. I just have all these things, okay? And again, not complaining. And also at the same time, I was getting resentful because I was feeling like, okay, I'm having to be the visionary, which the visionary is the person with the visions, with the ideas, with the like the external, like showing up, the person who's showing up with the ideas, that kind of thing. And I also have to be the integrator. And the integrator is the person to make a plan for the ideas and put in systems and processes and marketing for the ideas. Every single marketing thing that you have seen from me, it's been me. I've come up with. Every single system on the back end, I have put in place. And so I found myself like really wanting somebody who is just fully team Allie, like fully just bought into the mission of the company, the value of the company, the core values of the company, and the vision of the company, like someone who's fully bought into it. And I was feeling like, okay, everyone working on my team right now wants their own business eventually. So of course, rightfully so, a lot of their creativity and their time and their ideas are going to go into their own business. I'm not mad at them for that. I'm like, please, I'm the first person to tell you to go create your own business and brand, 100%. And at the same time, I also realized I need someone in this space who is in their soul, feels a soul mission and a soul passion to grow and help and expand the mission that we have here at Team Allie and the Allie Ninfo brand. So I'm like sitting with this for a few months and I'm really starting to feel it now. Like I'm really starting to feel it. I'm getting annoyed. Again, it has nothing to do with anyone else. I'm getting annoyed that I'm having to like do certain things I don't want to be doing anymore. I'm getting annoyed that I just can't be the visionary. I'm getting annoyed that I'm having to have all the ideas for the marketing, all the ideas for how to do something, all the ideas for the emails, all the ideas for the copy, all the ideas for this, that, and the other thing. And again, I just need to preface this because I fucking love my team. They're so amazing. I love them so fucking much. Not their fault. They are doing everything I hired them on to do. Everything. So it was just time for me to quantum leap and bring on someone else to fulfill that need for me that they were never, that they never signed up to fulfill, and I never asked them to fulfill because it wasn't part of like what they were supposed to do. So I'm like finding myself getting resentful, and then I get more resentful, getting more resentful. And again, not of anyone else except just the fact that like someone's missing from that spot, right? And the spot that I felt like someone was missing is like an actual COO, someone who is going to oversee everything, someone who people are reporting to, someone who is making sure everything is getting done, someone who is integrating my vision. I tell them the vision and they're like, okay, cool, got it. Boom, 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 done. System, process, marketing plan, idea, and they have it all done and they have it all prepared. They're like, okay, here's the launch. When we have the launch, here's the email's going to get sent out. Then this is going to trigger this email. Then we're going to create a click funnel here. And I was really missing that because I was having to do that. And it's not that I can't do that. And I'm actually weirdly, randomly good at that. I don't know how or why. Not good at details or like actual systems, but I'm good at like the marketing side is what I'm saying. I'm like weirdly good at the marketing side of stuff. I don't know how or where it came from. I did pull like a mastery over marketing from the Akashic Records one time. And if you're in my advanced intuition course, you're going to learn how to pull from the Akashic Records, but that's probably part of it. And it's just also in my soul. Like, it's just also like a soul thing that my soul chose to have, but I'm like really good at it. Do I always want to be doing it? No. But my problem is that until I found someone who was doing it better than me, I couldn't let anyone else do it. Like I couldn't let anyone else do like the marketing and branding and stuff for me until I found someone better at it than me. Because I know there's people better at it than me, but until I found that, like I had to do it. So anyway, I'm like getting fucking tired, okay? Because I'm like showing up and I'm doing hour and 15-minute long intuitive healing sessions. I am doing 2-hour-long intuition training classes. I'm doing basically an hour and a half, 2-hour long UIA Unfuck Yourself Academy live Q&As. I'm recording stuff for my programs that are digital, and I am making TikToks, and I am showing up on podcasts, and I am talking all the time. So that's doing what I love to do though. But then that on top of the back end stuff, making sure this is there, making sure this is there, making sure that marketing idea is there, making sure that system's there, making sure we have a ClickFunnels for that idea, and like integrating this stuff too, I was fucking burnt out. And so I ended up having a talk with Hannah from Team Allie. And I was like, Hannah, I love you, like fucking love you. And I also know that you want your own business. And I said, I don't even want to ask this of you. I said, I don't even like, I would love this, but I don't even want to ask this of you because I don't want to stop you and your dreams and your goals. But I was like, I need someone full time. I was like, I need somebody who is a COO. I need a COO. I need a full-time COO. I need someone who wants to integrate everything, who is putting all their creativity and energy and drive into my business and doesn't have a passion for their own business, outside of it, And I was like, I don't want to sound selfish, but that's what you need. That's, if you're hiring a full-time COO, that's what you need. Someone who has a fully passionate and bought into your mission, your brand. And she was like, oh my God, Allie, I love working with you so much. She's like, I love your brand. I love this. And if there was any way that I could do both, I would. If there's any way you would let me do both, I would still love to do both. And we just both agreed that it's just not, that's just not helpful for either of us, right? Because that would be, she would still be putting half of her energy and creativity into her thing. And then, then she would also, I would only get half from her, but then she would only get half from herself in her own thing. You know what I mean? So it just wasn't going to be aligned anymore. So Hannah Queen is still with us right now. She is just helping us integrate all the new stuff and making SOPs and that kind of thing. But we are officially hiring on Sarah, our new COO, tomorrow on Thursday, which I'm recording this on a Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday on the 29th of February, 2024. I just want to mark that date down. So that is what happened. So Hannah will be flying like a little butterfly, spreading her wings, and I will link her in the show notes below if you need her for anything, because she's fucking incredible. Can't say enough great things about her. Keisha's still with us, not blind to the fact though that she'll probably spread her wings soon too. So she knows to make her own systems and processes too, her own SOPs and everything like that, so that when she leaves, we pass them on to other VAs. And so I'll be hiring on another VA to kind of pick up some of the stuff that Hannah was doing. And then we have our new COO, Sarah. And Sarah is incredible. Sarah has taken businesses from 2 employees to over 50 employees within 2 years. Sarah has grown businesses from the ground to literally multiple 7-figure businesses. People actually send their COOs to Sarah to make their COOs better. And so she consults a lot of other COOs. And I found her on Indeed. I posted a job on Indeed for a COO full-time a few weeks ago. We got over 400 applicants. We then sent out, and Keisha helped me, we then sent out a message to all of them saying, hey, to be considered, here's the mission, here's the vision, here's our core values, here's the website, here's the social medias, here's the podcast. Send us a video to our email of why you'd be a perfect fit for Team Allie. From there, we got about maybe 80 videos, 80 replies. And that's really, if you ever do an interview process, it's a great way to see who's really committed. So you don't have to spend time answering 400 people and looking through 400 people's stuff. It really narrowed it down to 80. So then I'm looking through everyone's videos, and I find about 8 people, I believe it was, or 10 people that really stuck out. I'm like, okay, we've got to take these people through the interview process, the next interview process. Sarah being one of them. And as soon as I saw Sarah, you guys, I'm not going to lie, like I intuitively knew she was the one. As soon as I saw her, as soon as I just saw her email, I saw her name, I saw her email, didn't even watch her video yet. And I was like, it's this girl. Didn't even watch her video yet. Watched her video. This girl brings me a full fucking presentation already of like why she's a perfect fit. I'm like, okay, you're good. So then, but I go on with the interview process. I interview like the 10 people who really stuck out to me. And then I took about I had a long interview process for these. So I've never had a long interview process before. It's kind of been like with Jules, I just knew Jules as a friend and she was like really good at details and stuff. And so I was like, Jules, you want to work with me? And then same thing with like Demi. I knew Demi as a friend. I posted a thing about needing personal assistance. She was like, oh my God, me. I was like, okay, cool. Like I've never actually taken anyone, even Hannah, like I met her through Upwork and I interviewed her one time, but the day I interviewed her in the meeting, like I didn't even log off the meeting. I was like, oh yeah, you're it, you know? So I've never even taken anyone through an interview process ever. But I was like, this has to go through an interview process, an extensive one. So I meet with Sarah on the first interview and this girl fucking blew me the fuck away. She comes in and she is just like blowing me away. I have no words for it. Like she's a perfect COO. Like she wants to be a COO. She thrives in that role. She trains other COOs to be better. Like people send their COOs to her. She's helped so many businesses like grow, and she's an incredible integrator. She has incredible attention to detail. She was coming to me with ideas already and ways we could do things and marketing and all of this. And then one of the questions I asked them was, how do you handle conflict? Like, let's say when we grow our team, as our team grows, like someone's not getting something done or someone gives attitude or whatever, like how do you handle that? Her answer like perfectly matched like how I would handle it, like the company culture. It was just great. And so then we sent her, it's a culture index test. It's kind of like a personality test, but it's like how you show up in the workplace, like how you work. And I took one too. Mine was so funny. Like I had a really high level of like wanting to be social and show up and be talking. And I also had a really high level of drive. My attention to detail was so low, like such a low level of it. Her attention to detail was so high. Like hers was basically like where I lack, she has a very high level of. So it was really cool. And then we sent everyone everyone we went through the first interview with, if we wanted to move forward with them. Then we went through a second interview with about 5 different people. 5 different people did a second interview, Sarah being one of them. And the second interview, I had them do a like mock plan, marketing plan for the next launch of the Unfuck Yourself Academy program. So Sarah makes me a whole fucking PowerPoint like as a whole plan of like, here's a click funnel we're going to make. If they say this there, we're going to say this. Here's a process we're going to do. Here's the system. Let's try this. Have you ever done that? Like, and 50% of it was things I've never even thought of, which is incredible. And the other 50% have been things I've thought of marketing strategy wise, but I just don't have the fucking energy or time or like bandwidth to implement while I'm also teaching the fucking program, showing up live, doing the live free workshop beforehand, the whole fucking thing, making the posts, making the copy, writing the things, writing the emails, because I like to write my own copy because it feels more like natural, it feels more like me, organic, welcoming. And so I'm like, Sarah, this is my dream. Like, so she comes in with this whole thing. And I mean, from there, I mean, you guys, I was fucking thinking about her. You know, when you like first start dating somebody and you just can't stop daydreaming about them? That was me with Sarah. I'm like, I'm in love with Sarah. Like, Sarah's my wife. I want to marry Sarah. I love her. And I just was daydreaming about Sarah. Like, she is a new person I'm dating. Like, that's how I felt. So I then, after a second interview and after everyone's second interview, I then sit with it because I didn't want to be, even though I intuitively knew, like a lot of time I didn't want to be impulsive. And everyone who I interviewed, like honestly, so fucking gifted, so fucking talented, had incredible ideas. Like everyone, the one girl I interviewed made me cry. Like she just had so much heart and passion for people, and it was beautiful. Like I was crying in her interview, giving me chills. Like everyone I interviewed at that point, especially when I took the second interview, was like so fucking incredible. Like every single one of them. Sarah just happened to just blow like everyone out of the water, you know? Like she is just incredible. So, and she's a great culture fit, and she also practices this work. So she's even like going through Unfuck Yourself Academy right now for herself, but also to like get an idea of what's going on in there and the whole shebang. So I then ended up calling Sarah a few days after I finished interviewing everybody, made my decision. I FaceTimed her. I offered her the job. She's in. We've signed the papers. We've done the thing. We have a meeting tomorrow. It's going to be like a 3-hour meeting. We're going to just get into the weeds and get everything fucking organized. And I'm so excited. So again, I absolutely love my team. And Keisha's staying for now, but I'm not blind to the fact, again, she has her own business that's growing and she will leave. And that's okay. I know that. We know this. And she's not meant to be a VA forever either. She happens to be very detail oriented and organized. So she's a great VA, but she's definitely not meant to be that. You know, she's meant to go do her own thing for sure. But we'll get some great VAs in there after, and even I'm going to bring on one VA right now too, to just take up Hannah's tasks and everything she was doing too. No one can replace Hannah. Hannah is incredible. Again, like I'm going to put her info in the show notes. Like if you need her brand and business is like helping people leave their 9 to 5. She has courses for that. She thinks she does one-on-one sessions for that. I can't say enough incredible things about Hannah. Like if you want to do that, Hannah's your girl for sure. She has all the perfect systems for you. Not systems, like I guess systems. I don't know. What's Kajabi considered? Like where you hold a program or like a payment. I don't know. She has the perfect things for you to implement into your business for you. So again, I'll leave her stuff in the show notes. Hannah is expanding her wings from Team Allie. We are bringing on Sarah full-time, first full-time ever employee, first ever like full-time COO. And Sarah's an incredible integrator. I mean, this girl, like I'm even texting with her and she's like having all these ideas and she's asking incredible questions. And for a meeting, I'm so used to me having to prepare for meetings and stuff. She was like, oh my God, great. Okay, I have a whole plan for our meeting. We're going to start with this. We're going to go into this. We're going to do this. And I'm like, oh my God, yes. Like I'm literally like, oh, it's so good. I'm already like relaxing listening to her because she's taking on that role of here's the plan, here's the strategy, here's the thing. And she's better at it than me, which is incredible. And I want her to be. And I just get to be now the visionary. I get to have the ideas. I get to give them to her. She integrates them. I have the ideas. She integrates them. And I can show up making podcasts once a week like I want to do, making more content. I'm already live enough. Like I don't think I need to be live more. I'm already pretty live a lot in my teachings and programs and stuff. But like I can just have more energy. And I already have so much energy. Like I get called the Energizer Bunny a lot. But I mean, imagine the energy I'll fucking have not even having to do that back end stuff anymore that I no longer felt called to do. So, and again, it's not that I couldn't do it and I'm weirdly, randomly like good at marketing, but, and like thinking of ways to market and stuff. But, I don't want to do that part if I don't have to be so honest. So, and I do like to play a little part of a role in it, but I don't enjoy showing up to a meeting, having to like me being the one to like say everything we're doing. Like I love like Sarah, I don't even have to ask her. She's showing up tomorrow with this whole plan, this whole thing. And I am so beyond excited. So you guys will get to know her as well. I posted about her on my story, the other day where I introduced her and showed a photo of her and everything like that. And she lives in Scottsdale, so I'll probably go out and like see her, get together with her, so you'll see her then as well. And yeah, that is the background. That is the full Allie Ninfo brand situation. And I'm with hiring someone full time. I had a little bit of a limiting belief before I put the job post out on Indeed, of like, oh my God, well, what if something happens and I can't pay her? Like, what if the business just goes down and I can't pay her? And that's a very normal feeling and fear to have. And everyone I've talked to has had that. Like, I was talking to my friends, Catherine Zinkina and Ashley Gordon at the retreat in Sedona I was on the other week, and I'll post an update about the retreat and everything and how it went too in a different podcast, but give you the down low on that. But I was talking to them about it and they were like, oh my God, like I felt the same way. Like, trust me, that's very normal. Justin, my boyfriend, has felt the same way. I'm like, okay, like other people have felt this way. It's okay. I'm going to be fine. And it's not even true. Like, that's not even true. It's not even facts at all. I can easily pay her. But you know, there's always that fear like, oh my God, this person's relying on me full time. Like, fuck. But I worked through that really quickly. Also with like hearing from other people too, who have been in the same boat and felt the same things, and they're all thriving. Like Catherine's killing it. Ashley's killing it. Justin's killing it. Like, they're all thriving. So we are totally cool with that. I rewired that real quick. And yeah, you have to bet on yourself. That's really what I have to say about that. Like, you've got to see your own value. I have gotten so innately connected to my value and how what I do is exactly what people need. I've gotten so connected and rooted to that over the years that there's no denying that within myself at all. Like, there's no questioning it. Like, you could tell me someone, Joe Schmo from down the street could come up to me and be like, you're the fucking worst intuitive ever. And I would feel nothing because I would be like, oh yeah, no, that's not true at all. You know? So I have gotten so rooted no matter what external thing I'm getting outside of me says. And what's cool is when you get rooted, then all the external stuff outside of you is usually like, oh my God, I love what you do. And I get a lot of that. I get a lot of great feedback from everyone. So I appreciate your feedback and I love to hear your stories. So thank you for that as well. So that is the update over here. Oh my gosh. And I can't believe I almost forgot to tell you this. I wanted to add in that when you take radical responsibility for a belief in yourself, feeling like what you have to give can only be gotten from you, feeling like you are the best at delivering what you deliver, and you are the best at being you and what you know. And when you radically connect and commit to that, it is wild the quantum leaps you can make in your life, in your brand, in your business. My first actual full year of like committing to my business, which was 2020, of having no other job, like suffocating myself of any other kind of income, I went from literally digging for quarters to making 6 figures in the first year. The next year was multiple 6 figures. The next year was more multiple 6 figures. The next year was more multiple 6 figures. And we've generated over now $1 million in sales, like over the past 3 years. Not $1 million in a year yet, but I guarantee with Sarah coming on, we're gonna be able to do that. Being able to do that with basically me being the visionary and the integrator is wild and equally like a lot of energy and a lot of work and a lot of input. So I cannot wait to see what we do and the amount of people that we can help when we have Sarah coming on, where I can just fully be the visionary and she can be the full integrator. And I'm so excited. And what drives me, and I realize I've always known this, but even like the personality test that I took, like the culture index test that I took that I was telling you guys about, it even showed that what drives me is helping people. Like, what drives me is fucking people fucking feeling the fuck better. And with that kind of drive and with Sarah's kind of integration, I am so excited to see what we can do. So stay tuned. I also forgot to mention in this, because again, like I didn't know what I was walking into when I started recording this, but forgot to mention that I have been, because I'm not good at paying attention to details, my business doesn't have many details in it. So I have been so unorganized in my business the past 3 years. And I've never hired anyone specifically. Like, Hannah, insane attention to detail, but it was never like part of her job title to like have my whole business so organized. The part she was in charge of, she had very organized. But like, so hiring a COO, Sarah, she's so fucking organized with everything and with what she's going to be coming on here and doing. I'm so excited. Like the organization, like I want it. I just don't know. I'm not the person to implement it. You know what I mean? Like I crave it, but I'm not the person to put that in place. So having her like just bring that automatically, like even I sent her over like part of her contract and everything to sign, and there was something in there that like I didn't catch and like was so like didn't need to be in there, like it was so random, and it was just from a different contract from before that I never took out. And she like pointed it out and was like, hey, like, does this need to be in here? I'm like, oh my God, no. Like, and I'm like, do you see my lack of attention to detail already? Like I couldn't even read this whole thing. I got too much ADHD. So she's already on it. So I'm also very excited about that part, and I can't wait to see how much this can thrive without me having to be so concerned about trying to have detail inside of it, but not really succeeding at that, and having someone who's just naturally good and has a great eye for detail inside of it. So I will leave everything that I told you I would leave in the show notes. And I do have a retreat coming up. The last day to apply is on the 13th, and the last day to book is on the 15th of March. The retreat is in Park City, Utah, April 12th through the 14th, with an option to stay on the 15th to hang out with me and my team. It's optional, but we would love for you to stay and hang out. We'll all do an activity, an excursion. And we will leave that in the show notes too for you to apply for. We'll leave the Intuitive AF drop-in workshop that was live. We'll leave the replay to purchase. And then we will leave Hannah's info in there to purchase, or not to purchase, to look and find her as well. And okay, I will talk to you the next episode. Thanks for hanging out. Again, I had no plan of what was going to happen and go on here today. So I love that we got like a little recap of the past 3 years of what's been going on over here. Okay, I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.